Welcome to Football with Cheese. All right, so in last night's video, I did an instant reaction to the Geno Smith trade from the Seahawks to the Raiders. There's been some new information, so I want to go over a little more about the trade and maybe how it affects other teams around the league. So make sure you are subscribed and turn the notification bell so you never miss a video. Should have a bunch of videos in the next 4 or 5 days, probably 2, maybe 3 a day, depending if there's any crazy news like this. So one thing in the video I said that Geno Smith was in his prime. He's actually 34 years old. I thought he was like 31, 32. So he is getting up there. He has played well the last few years. If you watch Geno Smith play, like I said, he's not a top 7, 8 quarterback. The biggest difference between him and say maybe Justin Herbert or Matt Stafford is he's not as good in the red zone. He's a really good quarterback between the 20s, I'd say. He's a between the 20s quarterback. But yeah, you have a guy like DK Metcalf. You have some good running backs. He should be better in the red zone, and he just has not been. I think it's the biggest difference. Maybe the Raiders can fix that. They have Brock Bowers, but they're going to have to give him some receivers. They're going to have to get him a running game. One thing I didn't even think about in my instant reaction was how bad the Raiders' running game situation is. So, yeah, add offensive linemen, add receivers, and they need a stud running back. They need a lot on offense. Raiders need a lot of help on offense, so get Geno Smith some help. But one thing with Geno Smith that will be interesting is if they extend him and how long. The reason I bring that up, if they don't extend him, then he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. The Raiders pick 6th. If Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders is available, they could still draft a quarterback. Geno probably won't be happy. They need so much help on offense, obviously. But that will be interesting to see if they trade him just to be a bridge quarterback. I don't think so, because why would you give up the 92nd overall pick for a bridge quarterback? That just doesn't make any sense to me. You need that pick. That's a great spot for maybe a running back. So we'll see what happens. And the rumor, right after I recorded the video last night, the rumor came out that the Seahawks were interested in Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is not expected to be back with the Vikings. On these videos, I might say I saw on X or take it with a grain of salt. But when it comes from someone who has a great track record, then I'll just say it. And this came from Tom Pelissero. He's terrific. Works for NFL Network. He almost always gets everything correct. So it looks like Sam Darnold's not going to be back with the Vikings. My theory is he wants a long-term deal and they wanted a short-term deal. That's my guess. Of course he wants a long-term deal. But they drafted J.J. McCarthy last year in the first round, and they like him, and I like him too. Now, the Vikings can't go into the season with J.J. McCarthy as just the quarterback. They've got to get a veteran, a bridge, just in case. He only played one preseason game. He tore his meniscus. He missed the entire year. So you can't just give him the job because he could absolutely struggle, and then they'll be bad. If your quarterback, it just can't play, it's going to be bad for the Vikings coming off a really good season. The most likely quarterback that they'll sign, I think, is Daniel Jones. After the Giants released him, he was signed to the Vikings practice squad. I think that's probably the best fit. So he knows the offense. He spent some time with them. He's not very good, but at least he'll be a bridge. At least you can play him if McCarthy's not ready. The other rumor was, and we keep hearing this, and I brought this up in another video, Aaron Rodgers possibly. It would be crazy if they signed Aaron Rodgers because that's exactly what happened with Brett Favre. He was traded to the Jets, released, and then goes signs with the Vikings. Different scenario, though. They signed Favre to be the starter, and he took him to the playoffs a couple years, or at least 1 year. He took him to the NFC title game, actually, and had one of the most famous interceptions of all time where he threw back across the field. The big no-no. Favre should have known that. Saints intercept, go on to the Super Bowl, and I believe they beat the Colts that year. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers going to the Vikings. I don't see it. I mentioned this before. Aaron Rodgers does not want to be a bridge quarterback. He wants to be the guy. He wants assurances he's the guy. That's why I think Pittsburgh would be a much better fit. I know the Raiders were a possible fit, not anymore. And the rumor was he wanted to play for the Rams if they traded Stafford. They didn't. So running out of teams, Aaron. I don't think he wants to go to Tennessee. Giants are probably the most likely. To me, the best fit's Pittsburgh. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers wants to play for the Steelers. I don't know if the Steelers are interested. The only rumor I've seen from the Steelers is that they're more interested in re-signing Justin Fields than Russell Wilson. Doesn't mean they're going to re-sign Justin Fields. He's a free agent on Monday, but that's the only thing I've heard. We'll see. And then Xavier Worthy, the speed receiver of the Chiefs, their first-round pick last year, really came on in the playoffs, was arrested. Let me read this. Assault against a family or household member by impeding their breathing or circulation. Sounds like strangulation. I don't know for sure, but that sounds like strangulation. Bad. That's bad. If this is true, obviously we don't know. Someone could be falsely accusing him. We don't know. But this is bad for the Chiefs. Rashid Rice was arrested last year. He was involved in a 6-car wreck, allegedly drag racing through the streets of Dallas. And now you have Xavier Worthy, their other receiver, arrested for possibly strangulation. The Chiefs, for years, have taken chances on character concerns. Players that have a character red flag. Even Travis Kelce had one. You can argue he's got one now. He's dating Taylor Swift. But when the Chiefs drafted Tyreek Hill, he had an incident in college where he did something really bad. I'm not going to go into it. You can Google it. And he's had some off-the-field stuff since then. They ended up trading him. So this is not the first for the Chiefs. Probably won't be the last. But this is concerning. Almost every year some Chiefs player gets arrested. We'll see if this changes in the future, their draft strategy to go after more high-character guys. But sometimes the players they draft fall because of character concerns. Travis Kelce fell the 3rd round, had no business falling that far based on his combine, based on his play, but there were character concerns. So Tyreek Hill fell the 5th round, had no business falling that far based on his talent and his film. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have 2 videos coming, one on offense, one on defense. I'm going to go over 9, 10, maybe 12 free agents where I think the best fit will be, not necessarily prediction. Those will be out either later today, maybe tomorrow, but those will be out this weekend. Any other crazy thing happens, I will do an instant reaction. Who knows? I was ready to settle down last night, sip on some Jack, put a movie on, and then the Geno Smith thing completely changed my night. But it was cool. Cooked some steak. It was yummy. Going to cook chicken tonight, by the way. Chicken fajitas. Yeah, shocker for anyone who knows me. I'm cooking chicken fajitas. So, subscribe, like this video, share it with anyone who loves football so we can grow the channel. Check out these videos if you haven't, and look for the videos on my offense and defense best fits, and I'll see you in the next one.